Hello everyone, it's Cites here, and we are into Cities Skylines right now. And as you can see from the thumbnail, from the title of the video, from what I'm doing right now, deleting all these trees and deleting the forestry industry area from Plendon, I'm actually building some farms. This is my first time on Cities Skylines building farms, but the idea is that in a small village, when you actually exit a small village, it usually doesn't end there and then fades directly into the forest. It's a bit weird. So that's the reason I'm building a farming section, so that it actually makes sense that there is a forest there. That was my idea. Usually, here in Italy at least, when you exit from a little city and little village, you usually find some farms, some fields that are used to produce stuff, But yeah, the idea is that they actually have a farming zone in Plendon, which is exactly what I wanted to do. But yeah. So I'm building these fields just right against the railway, and this area is probably one of my favorites. It's my first time, as I said, building some farms, and I think they actually turned out very good. And I don't remember exactly how many farms I do in this episode, because I do remember I don't do every farm. Also because there is a problem that you'll see in this video. There is going to be something. You probably already know what happened, because you can see it right now that I didn't place a district before zoning. So yeah, I'm saying that right now I have some problem with the zoning, because without the farming trait on the district, they would grow only like actual industry building. That wasn't something that I wanted. So when I change it, it goes a little bit to shambles. But in the end, when I stopped recording, I went on the workshop and I actually downloaded a lot of new assets for farms and tractors to put in, like props, nothing too fancy. But yeah, the idea was to actually start doing, some stuff, and being able to make it look more like a zone for farming. So, this is my first farm using these beautiful decals that I found on the workshop. They look very nice, and I'm using them. Even if they don't match perfectly as in lines, from far away you don't even notice that, and it looks actually very nice. And as I said already, these buildings are not the final buildings, because these are still actual, industry, generic industry, and not the farming industry. So yeah, you see this changed. And actually, if you care, I will be posting a pic of the final results on my Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description. And if you want to see the final results before the next episode, because I'll surely make sure that you'll see it in the next episode, making a live section just for showing it off, because I'm working really hard on that. But since it's not 100% finished, there is just a couple of things that I want to change and detail a little bit more. You'll see the final pic when I'm finished on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, and be sure to not miss the opportunity to see these farms, follow me on Twitter. If you don't care really that much, it's fine. You'll see it in the next episode, so don't worry. But that's enough rambling. This first farm has this beautiful little garden that I did. That my idea is like somebody lives in actually that building with the farm, the field, and they have this big little garden, just so. And I'm using these bit decals again, the dirt ones, that they look very nice and they give the effect of many trucks leaving the cement and going on dirt roads and vice versa. So there is a lot of dirt that actually ends up on the cement, and that's the reason why it's actually all dirty. And that was my idea, and I think it looks very nice actually. So again, all the buildings you're seeing, they won't be the final buildings you'll see on the images on Twitter or in the next episode. It depends on what you will see. But so don't get attached to the buildings. But you know, the story that I'm going to put behind those, it's still gonna be the same. And these two buildings here, they looked very nice, and I wanted to give them something different. And as I said, I never tried building farms in Cites Skylines. It's my first time actually, and that's my first attempt. And I'm using these bushes to create some lines and make it like they're actually producing something. And I think that in the end it's one of the most beautiful farms that I built. I mean, the decals one surely look very nice because, you know, decals actually looks very nice, but this one is actually one of my proudest moments because I put all those in my hand. It wasn't that hard because with the line prop tool it actually is a bit easier, but you know, it was still a bit painful to do. So I'm really happy with myself and what I did there. So yeah, just thank you to myself. I'm thanking myself. I don't know. And yeah, okay, this building, I know this building is going to change, but I downloaded a building on the workshop specifically for replacing this one because, you know, there is a story behind this. The idea is that a company bought this plot of land and they want to build hydroponic farming. They want to do something like that, something very high-end scientific and very nice, and they want to produce a lot in this plot of land. So that's the reason there is a parking lot, because there is also a science lab inside this building, and it's like all the people that are the scientists that are working inside the science lab and all the people that are working on the field and in all the stuff that is around those. They want some parking, so that's the reason there are two parking lots here. And I know this building is going to change it. It is not going to look 100% like this because of course this is not a farm. But when I built it from the workshop, I made sure I use a very nice building, very futuristic, very scientific-istic, and it looks very nice actually in the end. So I'm really proud of that as well. And here I'm using the grass decal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's the grass decal. And yeah, to make the texture a little bit different and make it look like, you know, it's another type of produce that are growing. But yeah, again, using some fencing around this one, if I'm not mistaken, which is a beautiful fence, beautiful wooden fence that I found on the workshop, and it looks very nice and it's very, very farm-like. So I loved it and I used it a lot in these farms. I didn't want to use the same fence in all the farms because, you know, not every farmer will have the same fencing. So I make sure to use different fencing. I use some trees in some fence to act like fencing, or I use some little bushes. You'll see everything that in the end it's going to be a little bit different than what you think. But here is the moment that I realized that I have no district, and so all the buildings that I have, they are not farms. So yeah, that's the reason they're all changing. And here you can see the problem with farms. They build a lot of billboards that I don't get. Why billboards are farms? They are not. I mean, in the end, I get it. They are like for a company owned pieces of land, I guess, and they put up a billboard to be like, yeah, this company piece of land, and yeah, I get it in the end, but they don't look very nice at all. And also, as you can see, not talking only for the billboards, but also the plot of lands that are building up with the fencing. The color that they chose for farms, it's not good at all. Like, it's fucking yellow, guys. What? No farms look that. It's radioactive. It's a fucking radioactive color. What the fuck? I mean, it's fine. I covered it up with the surface painter and decals. But if I had no decals or a surface painted, and I have the base game, for example, what the am I supposed to do? Like, I know this game is made so that you can add stuff with the workshop, but what if I don't have the capacity on my computer to add a lot of stuff? I don't personally have the capacity on my computer to add a lot of stuff. I can, as you can see, I'm using mods and I'm using a lot of assets, but my computer runs very slow when I'm building in Cites Skylines. That's the reason I'm not recording in 60 frames per second and 180p and stuff like that. Cites Skylines doesn't run around 100% on my computer, so I get it. You built the stuff, but yeah, okay. Stop rambling. Let's talk about this farm. I used the surface painter to build some stripes, like they are working on the field with, I don't know, some tractors or stuff like that. The idea is to give the illusion of an actual field there, but it's just surface painter. And from distance, it looks actually very nice, so I'm really happy with that. And also, as you may already have seen, I'm using a lot of decals for leaves, fallen leaves, because since there are a lot of trees that I built in, a lot of trees means a lot of leaves that are falling, so yeah. Still talking about farms. This farm changes a little bit. Yeah, right now I'm changing it. Okay, I moved the fencing to the other side of the little road, and the idea is that it actually looks a little bit different, and I've used these other decals. There are a lot of decals for farms, and I'm actually impressed. They all look very nice, and they all look very, farm-like. So I'm very, very impressed and happy with what it actually turned out. And I cut out a lot of stuff because, there are moments when I'm actually just deleting those white, yellowish, horrible looking fields. That's the word that I was looking for. And when I do that, I don't want you to be like there and watching me. But yeah, that's the reason if you see some jump cuts, it's what I'm doing. I'm deleting the yellowish stuff. And here I used yellow, what the fuck, it's red, the red flowers, and they actually look really nice in a row. They look like, oh my god, I have the words in Italian, but it doesn't come in English. The thing for grapes, that you can produce wine with that. You understand me, Oh my god. I have to search for the words, because after I'm done with this voiceover, I will have to search for that word, because yeah, I want to know how it's called, so the next time I won't be a loser and doing this on the internet and looking like a fucking idiot. But yeah, oh my god, I did actually a lot of farms, which is actually very great. I thought I wasn't going to do that much. I thought I did like 1 or 2 actually, but I actually did a lot, which is great. And I'm using these other decals here in this beautiful farm, and it looks amazing, and I like it a lot, and they look very nice, and I'm really happy. And yeah, adding some trees on the edges, because I think like almost every farm has trees on the edges, not only because they divide the different farms, and also they naturally grow there. It's also because, you know, in a corner you won't really plant anything, so you leave it there, you don't take out any trees or stuff. So yeah, but I think I'm not near the end. I thought that this was, yeah, but I do something different. Oh yeah, I do remember now. I build a little bit more of the city on this side of the railway and the station. Because since we have all these new farms, we need some people to work on it, on farms, you know. So I'm building this other part of town, and there are some more houses, a little bit of shops, and I moved the firehouse, the police station, the hospital, and the crematorium that I have there that I put in for the farms, so that we actually have a city center, like a little small center of this side, you know. Yeah. And I had to make sure this fence was remade because it was all broken. I don't know what happened exactly, but yeah. So I make sure that this fence is actually there, and I close it off so that you can actually don't go on the tracks, which is kind of dangerous, but yeah. It was just a sidetrack because when I'm building in City Skylines, I usually get sidetracked more than I want to admit it. Because, you know, I'm building some roads, maybe, like I'm doing right now, and placing some houses here and there. And then I see a particular thing that I'm like, oh, it doesn't look right. So I go in, change it, work on it for like 20 minutes, modify it, add stuff, delete stuff, and then go back to what I was doing. And it's not great for videos when you see me get sidetracked all the time, but I mean, it's fine, it's still stuff that we had to do, so. And I wanted, as you can see, add a lot of trees in this area because it's like near the farm, so it's not as maintained as is the actual city center of Plandome. It's like a new area of Plandome, so it's more, you know, rough, and it just started, so, you know, it's small, there are not a lot of houses, and yeah, it's like it's new. The idea is that with the farms the houses came, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. But here I'm modifying the terrain so that it does make sense. There is a reason where actually why the farms stop there. But yeah, we are almost done. There is a couple of problems with this video because in the end there is like 3 minutes of me completely stopped. So probably I had some problems with the working, and I was doing something different. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and let me know in the comments what you want to see more. In the next episode we'll see the new farms. So thank you so much, and bye!